I'm Harry Smith along with Maggie Rodriguez. Breaking news this morning. Don't think this is last spring because it sounds an awful lot like this. For the second time.
Welcome back to the early show from New York City. Coming up, we will announce, you will hear it here first, People magazine's Sec purposely have not looked. I'm guessing it's Robert Pattinson from Twilight, New Moon, because it's all the rage, but I'm not sure. We will find out together ahead this morning.
I know the answer.
Am I? You're not going to tell me?
No. Okay. We've got an important information for you and your kids about how to watch out for.
But first, at 7:30, the latest on little Shania Davis. A memorial page has been set up on Facebook for the murdered 5-year-old girl whose mother is accused of selling her as a sex slave. CBS News correspondent Mark Strassman has more.
Crowd here on the plaza on this beautiful, crystal clear November morning. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Welcome back to the early show. I'm Harry Smith, along with Maggie Rodriguez.
We can officially now reveal People magazine's sexiest man.
Gather around the TV, ladies, because on this morning's Ask It Early, our own Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here to answer your questions about the controversial new mammogram guidelines that she herself has been asked about repeatedly by her patients. Good morning,
That's
Doctor.
right, Maggie. Good morning, you guys.
And of course, we have a ton of questions from viewers as well, so let's get right to them. We have Angela Walker standing by in Atlanta. She's under 40, and she has a question for you. Go ahead, Angela. Good morning.
It's such an important question because we know that breast cancer increases as women age, but there are some breast cancers that are detected on things like ultrasound/mammogram in younger women. And of course, those are the women with the young children. It has an impact for every woman, but especially when you're talking about a younger woman. And those are the women that in my practice, I'm finding the most fearful, the most anxious about these new recommendations. So usually and I in my practice, Angela, I'm continuing to recommend that. When you talk about under the age of 40, if you have other risk factors, it's really kind of uncharted territory. So we really do individualize it in younger women.
Before we go on, why don't you just go over the new guidelines in a nutshell so people know what we're talking about?
So we used to start recommending mammograms at age 40 and then every year.
For all women or just women with a cancer risk? For an average
risk woman. So we're not talking about a high-risk woman here.
Okay.
The new guidelines suggest that maybe we shouldn't start doing that in their 40s and that women should start routine mammogram screening at the age of 50, and instead of doing it every year, do it every 2 years and then stop mammogram screening at age 74.
Let's bring in Virginia from Nyack, New York, and our thanks to Angela. She wrote us an email, Jen, and she wants...
And Maggie, first of all, when you talk about a high-risk woman now, which is someone with at least one first-degree relative, so a mother, a brother, a sister, or a daughter with the history of breast cancer, or someone who has a genetic mutation, the BRCA mutation, they are in a different group, and it's much more individualized.
So they're basically exempt from this?
They really are.
Right,
they really are. These new recommendations do not apply to them. Right.
Take yourself out of this group.
That's right. Now, what's also kind of uncharted territory, though, is when you are at high risk, we really don't have sweeping recommendations about when to start screening younger women. So 20 there's no data to support that at all. Usually we say about 10 years before the age that your relative was diagnosed. So if you have a relative diagnosed at 45, we usually say get your first mammogram at 35. The exciting things hopefully in the future will be there will be better testing methods, better screening methods to identify those at high risk, and we don't have those yet.
There's also a question about the value of self-exams.
That's right.
What's your take on that?
And the task force actually said they advise against it, Russ, because they have found to be very inaccurate and generate a lot of anxiety, and again, the unnecessary biopsies and invasive procedures. What I tell my patients, and I start this with my teenage patients, is you should know what your breasts feel like. It's part of your body.
Of course.
And if you're concerned about something, you bring it to your doctor's attention.
Very surprising that they would go there. Yeah.
Who are the people on this task force making these decisions about women's breast health?
Well, that's really important to look at, Maggie, and a lot of my patients are asking me the same thing. Who is this task force? Let me tell you who it's not. It does not include a radiologist. It does not include a medical oncologist or surgical oncologist. It is made up of government-appointed but non-federal employees, doctors, PhDs, public health experts, who analyze computer-driven data, but there are a lot of limitations to the way, and they admit them readily in their guidelines. There are limitations. They didn't take into account racial differences, and we know that
hugely significant.
And breast cancer can be much more aggressive and detected later in African American women. That didn't enter into their picture at all. So there are limitations, and they themselves really point these out too.
All right, we want to go outside. On the plaza is Linda, and when we were out there, she said that she had a question that she would like to ask Dr. Ashton. So please go ahead.
Hi, Dr. Ash.
So, but again, when you talk about breast cancer, that's like saying we're going to talk about the weather. There's ductal carcinoma, there's lobular carcinoma. There are so many different types of breast cancer, and some, like Linda asked, are very aggressive and will go from not being detectable on a mammogram 1 year to in the next year showing up, but others are much more slow growing. Again, their study didn't fully account for that.
There are a lot of women who say this was a money decision because eventually insurance companies won't pay for mammograms before 50. So far, they are still paying.
That's right, and they have Medicare, and the insurance companies have said that they don't plan to change their guidelines, but that's what I'm hearing from a lot of my patients. They are concerned that this is financially driven, and at the end of the day, you know, as a doctor, I understand the statistics, but I care for the individual woman, and that is a big problem at this point.
Thank you.
So much more to talk about on this issue because this is all anybody is talking about this week. All right, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thanks so much.
So if you have any questions about mammogram, ask Dr. Ashton. Coming up next, we know the sexiest man alive.
Welcome back to the early show, everyone. Very excited because we have Elvis Costello here this morning, and he is a triple threat. His new CD is out. He's got a show on Sundance that's starting its second season, and he's going to be singing live in our studio. Elvis Costello, everybody.
Was I hearing that da 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 da?
I don't know.
love
I can't
that
hear
song.
anything.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
So many greatest hits. Also ahead, it's the holiday season, and you may be a little light on cash. Our financial contributor, Vera Gibbons, is here with some good advice.
Really good advice.
Well, it's so interesting. You can save about $500 if you really follow her plan, and suddenly you'll find yourself at Christmas time with a little extra cash in your pocket.
No one will complain about that. Also ahead, we're going to show you a couple of ways to create the perfect lips, either with injections, how not to go overboard with that, or by using products that actually plump your lips naturally. We're going to do that. But first, as we go to Dave in Northern California, we want
Lip injections, ways that you can do this naturally. Jen Fallick is here with some no appointment necessary lip enhancement products. Welcome back, Jen.
Thank you so much.
So how do we get a little bit of that look with these products?
So if you don't want to go under the needle, these are some different products that can help you along the way to get that look. So we just start out, it's all about the prep. You've got to treat your lips right. This is from June Jacobs. It's a spa-like lip kit. Basically has a scrub, a mask, a balm, so you get rid of all that dead skin so that you can have a really nice clean lip. Yes. Or you can use in a pinch a cheap nubby washcloth with a little hot water on it.
Okay.
Exfoliate.
And then?
And then you want to line and define. So we've got an invisible lip liner because you don't want that, like, you know, that old lady brown lip liner.
I've never heard of an invisible lip liner.
Invisible liner. It just shapes a little bit, gives you a little more surface area on the lip, and you can figure out what shape you want and create it. And then it's about highlighting. So I love this trick. Philosophy has a 2-in-1 product that you dab a little bit. It's a white highlighter. Put it right above the Cupid's bow of your lip, and it creates the illusion of a larger upper lip.
So a little white right here.
A little white, yeah, or just take a little white eyeliner and put it right there.
Good one. And then?
Then you've got a prime. So we've got two options here. The first one, this is from Sensai. This is a Beauty Insider favorite. It has a defocus powder in it, so it blurs the fine lines, so your lips look nice and smooth. Or just take a great drugstore lip balm. This is a new import from Sweden. Lipsil $2.99. The waxy texture just keeps the lipstick on your lips nice and smooth.
And finally, we see so many products that promise to plump your lips. Do they really work?
Yeah, they do work, and they work in a couple different ways, but mostly it's by irritating your lips so that they swell temporarily. The typical, you know, the classic is the Venom. This is the newest version of the Venom that has cinnamon in it to plump it. It also has soothing ingredients like a jojoba oil, so things that actually hydrate the lips. Or this is a makeup artist favorite from NYX Cosmetics. It uses mint. So it's minty, it freshens the breath, and if you don't want to plump with an irritant, plump with an optical illusion. CoverGirl has a new lip gloss called Shine Blast that has these pools of optics in them that make your lips look more deep.
Jen Fallick, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We'll put all the information about these products on the web.